Hello, my name is Shirley Self, and I'm here to talk astrology. I've been thinking a lot lately about the existential crisis afflicting the United States. When you think about the United States chart, and you realize that Pluto is on our natal Pluto. The transiting Neptune is opposing our natal Neptune. Transiting Saturn is crossing our moon. Transiting Uranus is in conjunct our natal Saturn. So yeah, you could say the United States is suicidal. So we all ought to just go to Lukenbach, Texas with Willie and Waylon and the boys, but it would be it's Texas, it would be a super spreader event, so no, let's not do that. Let's get to work. I really do believe, and all my metaphysical education has taught me, that we are not here to pursue happiness, but to pursue good work. The work we are doing, mythology is the only thing that really expresses and explains to me the work we are doing. You've got to understand that mythology is not, mythology is real. It tells the truth. Symbols and myth tell the truth to the lunar brain, the right brain. The left brain is the solar brain, and that's the one that knows how to run the world, has learned. The solar brain only knows what it's doing, what it has learned this lifetime. The lunar brain is the key. Let's look at the sun and the moon here. The lunar brain is the key because it is the foundation of the life. It carries all the information of where you've been and what you've been doing. Lifetime after lifetime, cycle after cycle. It's contained in the moon. It's contained in instincts. And so the moon, the lunar half of the brain, the sun has to learn how to read the lunar half of the brain because that's where the information resides. That's where the senses tell the moon, the emotions, what's going on. Whereas the sun can say, if the sun hasn't seen it before, it doesn't know what it is. The moon knows whether it's dangerous or benevolent or whatever. So the sun has to learn to attend to the moon. The sun has to learn to work with the moon, build a corpus callosum, the connection between the two brains. Build that. It is the king. The corpus callosum is the king. The sun and the moon are the generators of the consciousness, the spiritual consciousness that is created when you create the corpus callosum. So here we're here to work. Why? Only if you discuss mythology have I ever found a decent explanation of why we are here, what we are doing here. And this is a story for your right brain, your lunar brain. It tells the truth to the lunar brain. The solar brain just wants you to have logical words. Anyway, let's talk about the myth. The myth is that when the gods are consciousnesses, God is consciousness. That's what it's all about, creating consciousness. The Philosopher's Stone is your own gift of consciousness to the consciousness of the humans. That is an edifice of human understanding that we are building. Anyway, gods were busy creating interesting consciousnesses. someone of the gods created an unconsciousness. As consciousness is God, this unconsciousness felt itself to be not God. And the result is that wrathful energy of the Demogorgon. The energy came into being just ravenous for something that it knew it was missing. And so it turned that hunger into killing and eating everything else. Yes, the nature of this world we live in is that we kill to eat, we kill to live. And when we die, we are food for other things. It's just the way it is. It is Kali. So this unconsciousness was such a disruptive influence that the gods got together and said, well, we've got to do something about it. Somebody's got to do the work to bring it to consciousness. And so, according to Jewish legend, the Elohim volunteered. And so we are here. Our suns are powered around the circle, lifetime after lifetime, by the wrath of the Demogorgon. We are converting this wrath into consciousness. So that's what we're doing here, and this is how we're doing it. We have 12 of these. Each soul is responsible for 12 of these cycles, and we spiral higher and higher and higher. And there is a 13th at the end of it all, in which you get to sort of hang out in the sphere of wholeness. So let me talk to you about what this is. This is about the bringing the two halves of the brain together to build a new consciousness, a new understanding, a new perspective on life itself. So you've got the two brains together here at Moon Phase 1. This is a new will. This old will, the work it has done, it has accomplished what it set out to do, more or less. And it's right in here at these two phases where they say, well, the next will should, because we did this already, the next will should do that. And so this is what Moon Phase 1 knows. It is an exceedingly powerful spiritual being with a goal, a subconscious goal. It's contained in the moon, but a feeling of intent. And that consciousness is together here. And in Moon Phase 2, where the wrath of the Demogorgon is, on the physical level, is dumped into the life. And Phase 2 is to run this physical energy out by simply doing what's available to do. And in the process, discovering what it likes to do, because the wrath of the Demogorgon is not bland. It is not, what's the word I'm looking for? It kind of knows what it wants to do. And so you have to, at each 2 and 9 and 16, at each phase in which the energy of the Demogorgon is dumped into that person has to run that energy through and give it a lot of experiences to find out what that energy is interested in. And then to pursue those interests here. And here is when the solar mind, the left brain, decides, I want to pursue this of my interests, my new interests, my talents. And so it wakes up to a goal. It wakes up to a goal. It's kind of an amorphous goal, but it is still wakes the lunar, the solar brain up, and wakes the lunar brain up. The solar brain thinks to itself, I'm out of here. I'm going to go out into the world. I'm going to tired of living off mom and dad, the maternal matrix. I'm going to go out into the world, and mythology says this is where the hero leaves the home, his safe home in the forest, crosses the bridge. In myth, if you cross the bridge, you've changed things. I mean, it's like, that was then, this is now. Crossed the bridge and headed out into the world, following its own desires. So both of the brains are still focused in. At phase 3, the lunar brain wakes up, and it's saying, and it wakes up kind of in anguish because it can no longer rely on the maternal matrix, the cultural hands that held it. It's got to work on its own, access its own instincts, and to help guide the soul through this lifetime. So the mythology of Moon Phase 3 is the mythology of Cinderella, and not the Disney Cinderella, the Brothers Grimm Cinderella, in which Cinderella has lost her mother, the maternal matrix has been abandoned, lost her mother, and wakes up to the fact that the evil stepmothers and competition of the evil stepsisters is now in her house. And Moon Phase 3 is in anguish because of this, emotional anguish because of this terrible change in status. Moon Phase 4, 3 has the solar mind has explored the outside and says, okay, I want to focus on it, and it turns out. It says, okay, where can I do this that I want to do? The lunar mind is still focused in and saying, okay, here's your goal, let's get on with it. The lunar mind is focused then on encouraging the solar mind to get out there and do what it has ambition to do. Of course, look at where it is. It's in Virgo. Taurus, I have these talents and I want to pursue them. Virgo, in order to pursue them, I have to actually work them. I have to actually find work in them. But the problem with the Moon Phase 4 is it's not feeling secure because it has to go against the grain. It has to go against the grain. It's abandoned the maternal matrix, and here it has to head in its own direction, and it's a very difficult phase. The solar brain is looking out, and the lunar brain is still looking in, and it's an essential phase. If you look at the size of the triangle that is available, for instance, to a Moon Phase 4, 12, 18, and 26, that is the size of the growth that is available to this soul. It's simply huge opportunity to expand your abilities, your talents, your character. But there's a tremendous amount of fear in a Moon Phase 4. A Moon Phase 5, the two brains are focused out. And a Moon Phase, this makes Moon Phase 5 a powerhouse. And it is one of the rectangle of power. And notice it's also a big rectangle. Much can be gained by simply going out it and doing it. A Moon Phase 6 it takes advantage of the fact that 5 did what it did, and a Moon Phase 6 is kind of on a roll. And the thing Moon Phase 6 has to do, 6 and 20, is to not roll too far. Slow down, you're going too fast. Elon Musk is a moon phase 6. And he's got tremendous amount of power in his horoscope, that if he can learn to focus his energy on something of benefit to the humankind, he can be real important to this world. Let's see if he can do that. And a moon phase 7, I call moon phase 7 the master of Earth, because the new talents of the Demogorgon have been acknowledged, tamed, and turned productive in that first phase. And we have here in the water quarter a repeat of the process. But here and when you come to a moon phase 8 now, 8 and 22 and 15 and 1, they're so, they've reached the peak. 8 and 22 have reached the peak. 8 is at the, feels the top of the family, and we've got George W. Bush here at the top of the family. Jack Kennedy, the top of the family, here in 8. The problem that has to happen, the thing that has to happen at these angles, is that they have to get tired of this past accomplishment and yearn for a new accomplishment. The problem is that the new accomplishment is in an area, element, that Mars, and Mars is action here. Mars is not used to, and it's water. Now you'd think that Mars would be used to because it rules Scorpio, but getting into water means getting into emotions and into the subconscious. What this water quarter does is that's where the person learns to access the creativity of the subconscious mind. The mythology talks about Mars getting together with White Lily or whoever has the whatever label the right brain has there, and so here the sun is tries its best to avoid moving into this quarter. It's difficult. And, well, all of them are difficult. I mean, this isn't easy. So what can happen in 8 and 22 is the soul can virtually start to deteriorate before they finally have the gumption to dive in to, well, let's go see what else I can do. And then the moon phase 9 gets the level of emotion, water, that wrath of the Demogorgon. And these people are emotionally powerful people, needing to learn to focus that emotion on something they truly desire, Scorpio, to do. And if they can focus that energy, otherwise it just sprays all over the place. Kind of like 2. If 2 can't run that physical energy out, it just turns violent. And anybody around a 2 who isn't feeling productive is in danger. So here the energy is focused, the passion. Some passion. I think John Lennon was a moon phase 9. The passion is focused and disciplined. And here is when the lunar brain is forced into back into the subconscious. They've both been focused out through here, but here at moon phase 11, this very difficult moon phase, the mythology, it talks about the rape of Persephone, and it's often and generally what happens at a moon phase 11 is some assault on the Venus, forces the Venus into the subconscious, and leaves the conscious mind, the solar mind, bereft. And until the solar mind can make connection with this, it is virtually lost and stumbles around. And moon phase 12, though, that is when the accidents, the lunar mind is still focused inward, but accidents then will happen to the solar mind. Notice it's in Aries, and force the solar mind to join the lunar mind in the subconscious. And there they make a really important connection, because the conscious mind is then is in coordinating with the subconscious mind, and it is incredibly creative. That's where creativity is found. This is also, an initiation phase. And at every initiation, what an initiation does is it kills off your past. So that all of the negativity that built up has to be eliminated in moon phase 12. The killing of the pig. That is part of the rites of Persephone. The killing the pig, and then that pig is distributed in the fields. And all that's saying is what you used to be bringing into you for your own benefit. The pig is the highest animal, but that's what it does. You are now bringing in to benefit the whole community. And so that's what a moon phase does, is it's to transfer your devotions from yourself to the greater good. The sun itself has two basic desires. It desires to survive. It also desires not to be bossed around by the moon, but that's the problem it just has to deal with. But the highest object, the highest desire of the sun is to be of service. And this is where this is kind of mandated, because up here these people are air. This is the air quarter, and these people are politicians, and they are using the creative ideas that are made possible through the work of the second quarter here, the water quarter. The creative ideas these people have that they use to change the world. We're politicians. So, and when you get to 15 here, the soul has marched up this thing one time. One time. It takes two, however, to make a philosopher's stone. So, when the soul gets to 15, it's a big ta-da. This is full moon. It's the phase called beauty. It's the result of all this work. What 11 virtually has started, is to build this person to the ideal that was set in the subconscious back at moon phase 1. An ideal person. This is what the world has given you, but on top of that, this is what you have created out of it. You are a unique person. Beauty. Libra, right there. So 15 is a happy, generally happy. What they have to do, it's a very important, you can see the star there, it's a very important phase. What they have to do is get tired of being perfect and say, I think I'll take it out, all this tool out into the world and see if I can, see what I can do with it. This tool, this intellect, this unique intellect that has been created here. So that 15 has to just get bored with being beautiful and jump off into the world. And at 16, the heir of the Demogorgon, the wrathful heir of the Demogorgon, is delivered to moon phase 16. And a problem they have with that is that their imagination just runs wild. Just runs wild. They are brilliant. Notice Aquarius and moving into Gemini. They are brilliant and can communicate it. They are. These people write a lot of books. A lot of books. They are into fantasy, reality, novels, murder mysteries. They write. So 16 has got to learn to focus that imaginative, creative intellect into, virtually building the perfect life for a perfect person. And in order to do that, of course, they have to fight against the world who wants them to settle down into their cubicle and do what they're told. These people don't want to settle into their cubicle and do what they're told. They've built a perfect person. Now they want to build a perfect life. In moon phase 17, that perfect life really starts to move. And 17 has an awful lot of dealing with the fact that the world won't stay put the way they can build a form and it's gone the next day and they have to move on. It makes them incredibly creative if they can access that power that they have and understand its intellectual power. 17. And 17, the people at moving phase 17 are so creative. 17, 13, these people are incredibly creative. Why? That's what they've been working on. We come up to 18. 18, that's the United States is an 18. Putin is an 18. Remember, we've been working on the ideal ever since about here. Working on the ideal. And the ideal person, the ideal life. And now 18 has to give up that ideal life. Here's a solar mind turns out into the world and says, I think I should go do this. I think I would be real good at doing this. It picks an intellectual specialty. And that's what it wants to do. But the lunar mind is still focused on that ideal. And it says, you want me to live where and do what? That's no. What we need is our 2.5 children. We need that home in the suburbs. No, we can't go. We can't join the Peace Corps. And so that's what the United States is busy doing right now, is trying to give up empire, trying to give up the traditional role of governments that have been predominant in the last 5,000 some years. Run by strong men and thieves. And still, boy, they're making a last stand. I hope it's a last stand. The strong men are stepping up everywhere and hatching the lies like never before. Okay, so that's 18. What happens at 19 is the two brains come together, makes 19 a powerhouse. If they can, if they can focus on the outer world, the 19 problem these people have, 19, 20, is that they are so powerful that they can micromanage their family. They can. And when they shouldn't micromanage. These people should largely manage something big. Like they should rescue dogs. They should stop the war in the Ukraine. These people are powerful people. And they need to do something with their power, Scorpio, that is of benefit to everyone, Cancer. So phase 20 then benefits from the fact that 19 was so powerful and did so much work. 20 is the judge. They are after justice, but they can also micromanage their family and create. The problem with these people is they're so powerful that, you know, people down in here and down in here don't usually have that kind of mental power that they can overpower, but they overpower you. They're steamrollers, they're bulldozers, D9s. They run over you. And so that's a problem that moon phase 20 has. It's an extremist like moon phase 6 because 19 has given them the chops to do that. 21 is the master of air. These people are ultimate politicians. Winston Churchill was a 21. So we come to 22, and here we have that same old problem of, okay, I'm at the top of the hill, and this is the abdication of the king. This has been the coronation and the rulership of the king. Here's the abdication of the king. And when we talk about the king, we're talking about the mind. And so there's this attitude. The problem with the king up here is that he has totally lost touch with reality. I mean basic reality, Virgo. His health, how much he should eat, things like that. The king is way off in his head, and it's going to take some kind of crisis to bring him down to back into reality. And so this is a really important moon phase here, 22, very difficult. It's a phase of war. Phase 8 and 22 are phases of war. Remember, W just could not stand to not go to war. You know, the war that's fought inside is actually demonstrated outside of you. So he started a war. And that was what 22 will do. And they have to be defeated. They have to be defeated. 23, that's where that spiritual energy is from the Demogorgon is dumped in, that wrathful energy. And 23 has got enough spiritual chops to go right down to the dregs and start working for people. 23 is called the technician. This mind that they have created, it has been created there, is technically very proficient. And that technique needs to be brought back into the world to make it useful. That's what these people are doing, is they're trying to rejoin the human race after being so far up in their heads that they've alienated themselves. So 23, I think Mother Teresa might be a 23. I think she's a 22, 23. But she demonstrates what the phase has to do, which is get off your high horse and go make yourself useful. So, and 24 is a craftsman who, remember, these people they've got the skeleton of the mind. That's what 22 is. It's one of the, it's actually the skeleton in the death card is actually the mind that has eliminated all other authority above it. There is no higher authority. No higher authority for these minds. So what now that skeleton has to do is it has to have spiritual muscle put on it. It has to bring this person back into reality, back into human companionship, back into being part of the world. It's hard. They never quite make it. They're really special. They're Merlins. These people are the magicians. These Merlins, what they're supposed to do is to rectify the errors that were made over here. These people, Revolutionary 25, Gandhi. This is, 24 is devotion to a tradition that perfects oneself. And so spiritual muscle is being put on it. Here's the spiritual revelation of, oh, I did not do that. Bad karma. The karma over here. Anything 18 couldn't push itself out the door to do. Now leaves 26 bereft. It does not have that power has not been utilized. It is no longer it is not available. And so 26 tends to be a phase of real anguish. The United States last year went through a moon phase 26, and you remember how what we noticed was that things were not perfect. 27. So wait, let me go back here. At 25, the moon dives in again. The sun is still focused outside, but the moon dives in, and at 26, both of them are in turn. The moon and the sun, both sides of the brain, are turned in to see what condition my condition is in. Ooh, ow, not so good. 27 and 28. These phases, Yeats says you don't have to live them. If you've done really good work here, you don't have to be embodied here. You can be useful on a different plane. So, I know that will make every 26, 27, and 28 think, oh, bummer. You mean I could have been the presence at a spring? I could have been the deva of a spring? Yeah, you could have. If only you'd done better. Anyway, forget that. Anyway, that's the journey of the soul, the hero's journey. When you get to here, you have created something. You have, from your particular perspective, in the center of this circle, and then it's actually come out higher at the end than you started. From this perspective, in the center of this circle, you have created this unique understanding, this unique perspective. It is the Philosopher's Stone. It is a part of the edifice that human beings are creating. It's called the Atom Kadmon. And what the Atom Kadmon is a consciousness that knows it's God. Yay for the Demogorgon. It has made it. Well, it will make it when we've finished. Whew, looks like a lot of work. Anyway, a lot of work has been done. If our government could only give up its feeling that it has to stay in power, it has to control people it can't control. We've got Uranus on the 7th house cusp. You can't control those people. They will do and be what they will do and be. And so if we can just let them be, and we could do what we have to do, which is focus our energies on what needs to be done. Anyway, that's my review of the system. To find your moon phase, you subtract the sun from the moon. The moon is moved on. Make sure that you go the right direction when you're checking that out. Subtract, and that will be where your moon phase is. I was born just before the full moon, so I know I'm here. You can look at your aspects, like a trine will be right here. A trine will be right here, between the sun and the moon. It'll tell you where they are. Anyway, I hope you're well, and I hope you're managing this new surge of idiocy and illness that we're enduring. And remember, the only antidote, the North Node of the United States is in Leo. The only antidote to this is love. I wish you well. Bye-bye.